Howdy, guys, and welcome. This is my week this time. I'm going to be running Monster of the Week for us, which nobody here has played except for me, so that's going to be really fun. But welcome, anyways, to HP to XP. Do not forget that we do still have 2 more one-shots this month. Next week, we are going to have Mouse Guard on the 19th, and then a D&D adventure in Wildmount on the 26th. We are also moving back our starting date for our new campaign by 1 week. So that is going to be starting on June 9th, not 9th, 9th, instead of the 2nd. So be sure to tune in for that. But until then, enjoy our one-shots. And I believe it is time to dive into Monster of the Week. So, for our cold open. As the sun sets on Critter's Crazy Park Adventure, a unique theme park known for its many animatronics that has been gaining popularity, the camera pans over the closing park as the last few families make their way towards the exit. We focus on one individual walking against the crowd further into the park. A middle-aged man in a bright orange and yellow uniform of the park with a tool belt around his waist and a toolbox in his hand. He steps past the main entrance of Frazzle's Frightful Mountain, a banner hanging above it advertising the brand new dark ride, and he enters through the staff-only door. The next shot that we see is the man's tool bag as it is dropped to the floor and he begins rifling through it. All right, let's see what's wrong with you this time. A noise suddenly catches his attention. He looks up at the animatronic that is supposed to be turned off for maintenance, as there's a clicking of gears accompanied by a squelch. We hear the animatronic whir as it attempts to crackle through one of its lines. The camera zooms in on the mechanic's face. Confusion turns to panic. Another click, click, and squish. The mechanic stumbles to his feet, abandoning his tools, and bolts off with a scream. Now, we find our odd group of heroes as they finish the last stretch of road up to Crater Peak before they reach their next destination of their road trip, Critter's Crazy Park Adventure. The sun shines bright in the late morning. It isn't too long before you reach the peak. It's easy to see critters. Most of the forest up here has been cleared away, and the bright park is tucked neatly into the peak's crater. As we see you all pull into the parking lot, who's driving? All right. Describe your character.
That was the hand signal for not me.
Now it's you.
Now it's you.
All right, so Grumbles, falling asleep at the wheel periodically, nodding off, is a teenage boy with slick back black hair, wearing a leather jacket and a very dirty, like has worn it to too many restaurants, white wife beater, and some just normal jeans. Yeah, and that's Grumbles.
Cool. What kind of car is he driving?
He is driving a Chevy Impala.
For those that don't know cars, can you describe that for us?
Yeah.
Lots of
So
trunk space?
exactly. It's kind of a sort of
My first car.
It,
Literally a 68 Chevy Impala.
right. If you go for old school Chevy Impala, it's kind of a sort of a boxier. Think of Back to the Future. That's it. Basically, it. Not the Maserati, but or the Lamborghini, but the
DeLorean.
Yeah, the DeLorean,
Okay.
Whatever that car is. I'm not a car person, all right. So it's got a box flat top. There we go.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, Grumbles.
In the passenger seat.
I was just going to ask who's riding shotgun.
Yeah, in the
Please.
passenger seat is Lady Amelia Higginbottom. And as I wrote down here on my paper, she has a proper face and a proper clothes. And pretty much everything about her is just proper. So she's reading the map and probably telling Grumbles to pay attention to the goddamn road.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Then as for everybody in the back who's crowded all together, let's start with Barry.
Oh no. Okay, so Barry Potter's wearing a tattered bathrobe. He does have a lightning scar. Instead of the boy who lived, he is the boy who died and will continue to die for his younger sister, Petunia. He has a pair of broken spectacles on a necklace around his neck, and he's probably poking her with his wand right now, just absolutely jabbing her with it. I didn't hit you first, you hit me first.
What's Petunia look like?
Petunia is around 9 years old and has straight blonde hair down to the middle of her back. She is dressed in a pajama onesie that's light blue with the little white feet underneath it, but it's torn up and sometimes her feet get bloodied, but she doesn't really pay attention to that. She kind of has this like very innocent look, but her eyes look like oddly like they have bags under them for somebody who's 9 years old. And being poked with the wand, she takes her soulless Cabbage Patch doll and just smacks Barry to the side. And is just like, don't talk to me now. And that is Petunia.
Beautiful. I love her. And then sitting up probably between these two so that they don't literally tear them apart. Go ahead and describe Abdiel.
Having been sort of tired of this routine after a short while at the last rest stop, Abdiel had moved themselves to be between the two. They have sort of a very striking, almost gaunt face. Their eyes are very sparkly. They prefer just a very simple pair of black denim jeans, black combat boots, a simple, sturdy denim jacket. And they are sitting here looking between the two, wondering why it is they ever left home to take that study abroad trip to begin with all those years ago.
Amazing. So, our unlikely heroes, the car wavers a little bit under Grumbles' control, but eventually makes its way into the parking lot. And you find some parking space. It is, like I said, late morning, but it seems relatively crowded here. You can see that there's already a line forming up at the ticket booth. It seems like there's one single line, even though there are several ticket booths. All of the other ticket booths are closed. There's huge park behind, this bright striped orange and yellow wall, and you can see all the rides, hear the screams in the background. Again, there once outside of it was a very pretty forest, but it has all been torn down, and now you just kind of see vacant, it's just not very pretty. But there is an informational sign next to a bench, probably about 30-40 feet away from the entrance. Seems like it was at one point advertising some hiking trails around this place, but it has since been covered up by a couple of posters advertising critters. But you guys park.
Well, if we hadn't taken that roundabout route, Grumbles, we would have gotten here in time to beat this line.
Well, I blame Petunia. Petunia, if you wouldn't have taken so long to find your gosh darn doll, we wouldn't have taken so long to get in the car to begin with.
Don't make me talk to you from the beyond again.
Might I get out of the back seat, please, before we continue to have this conversation?
Yes, I would very much like to just walk about 10 feet in front of most of you.
Anywhere out of the vehicle.
Do we do we have, we're going to the park, correct?
Yep, that's your destination. You guys have been taking the most fun road trip of your lives, clearly.
It's been delightful.
And this is your next destination.
I think there are like breadcrumbs or like chips in my dress. I'll head to the line and help the Petunia out of the car. She needs help.
Sounds good. Is everybody going to be making their way towards the line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of using the door, Grumbles is gonna phase through the bottom of the car and roll out from underneath, and then stand up.
Amazing. You see a couple of people who are getting out of their car a few spots over kind of see you get out from under the car and give you a questioning look,
What?
but they just keep going. They
Yes, that won't be obvious at all, Grumbles.
Amazing. You guys make your way up to the line. There's a handful of people in front of you, and they seem to be a little impatient, as there's, again, only one person manning any of the ticket booths. You peer around the line, and you can see in there is a single sweaty man who is balding. He's got a mustache. He's occasionally dabbing at his forehead with, yes, a handkerchief. He's wearing a black suit with a very colorful tie. And he seems very overwhelmed as he is attempting to take everybody's money.
Oh, go ahead. Amelia's gonna look at Abdiel and be like, remind me again why we chose this place. What is good about this place again?
I believe it was Petunia that wanted to go.
Right.
I need a new doll.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Amazing. So you guys stand here, wait through the line for a while. Eventually, your patience pays off and you get to the front of the line where this sweaty man just waves you over, dabs at his face, and is like, okay, how many for this family today?
Oh, I wouldn't go as far as family. 5.
Right.
Well, four and the child. I assume there's a
6.
rate.
Holds up the Cabbage Patch doll, whose eyes lifelessly stare at the sweaty man.
She indulge her. She's touched.
6, of course, dear. He gets you guys some tickets and tells you how much it is because I'm not looking that up. Takes your money. And instead of tickets, gives you little wristbands that are, again, bright orange and yellow. And you can see on there, there's a little face of a brightly colored raccoon just smiling. It looks very poorly drawn, like it was probably just traced over some other mascot from a video game, you're assuming. But seems to be dear sweet Critter of Critter's Crazy Park Adventure.
Is Critter supposed to be a hedgehog? I'm not sure.
The man
What's
sort
that
of waves you
thinking?
all in and just goes, oh, no, he's raccoon, please.
Ah,
And waves on the next group of people.
It doesn't match my aesthetic, that's all I know.
Petunia just starts humming.
Wonderful.
Alright, what ride are you going on first, I suppose?
You all enter the park. There are maps readily available. And you see before you a wide array of very exciting rides that you can choose from. Directly to your left seems to be an arcade. You can definitely see many claw machines with very odd stuffed animals of Critter and Co. In there. To your right, you can see what looks to be some sort of dining concessions area, and you can hear music and the cheering of a crowd, mostly children. And in front of you, you see a large area that is named, already forgot it, excuse me, the Crazy Zone, which is mainly just miscellaneous rides, it seems like. You see a Ferris wheel, you see some of the smaller roller coasters in there, you see some of those rides that spin around. I don't know what they're fucking called, but you see them there. In front of it,
the teacups.
Definitely have
where we
teacups.
drop you off.
Hmm?
What was that, Barry?
Hmm?
I said, Petunia, I think this is where we drop you off for the day.
You don't want me to drop you off again.
I don't think I don't think they let children just run around unsupervised.
Petunia, what would you like to do? We came here for you. What would you like to do?
You look down at the map, and there are also plenty of other larger rides in case the smaller roller coaster in the Crazy Zone doesn't quite catch your eye. There's a few water attractions. There's some spooky looking roller coasters. There's a spooky manor. There's a mine ride. There's a frightful mountain, apparently. Laser tag.
Ooh, Frightful Mountain. I like the sound of that.
Why-
Beautiful.
Why don't we start there then?
So, upon speaking the words frightful mountain, I believe it is Barry and your dear sweet sister Petunia. Would you guys like to do your move at the beginning of the mystery? I believe it is Destiny's Plaything and Premonition.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So, could both of you go ahead and roll me? I believe it is going to be plus weird.
Yeah. Okay.
First roll.
That's an
First
8
roll.
for Petunia.
7
All right.
for Barry.
Oh, good. You both got mixed successes. Love it. All right. So, upon saying Frightful Mountain, Petunia, firstly, you turn and begin to look towards the direction, and suddenly your body just freezes up, your eyes roll back in your head, your hair starts to waft out a little bit, and you start to have one of your visions. It's, it happens. You see darkness, flashing lights. There's a blood-curdling scream. The arms of what appear to be a critter animatronic tightening around a struggling mass covered in some horrid-looking substance. There's a crack, a squelch, and silence. Your eyes roll back, your hair floats back down. Your brother, same sort of thing happens, just not quite in as creepy of a way. Your vision goes white at about the same time, and you just sort of stop in your tracks. For you, you see a deep, muddy pit. There's a cacophony of sounds all around you. Distant screams from roller coasters, the drone of construction work, and a loud electronic hum. But your focus is on something buried in the mud. Small, round, and it pulses. And your vision returns. To everybody else in the group, this is just another Tuesday.
Okay, what am I allowed to do with the the fun pulsing ball on the ground?
You don't... That was just a vision that you saw all of a sudden.
Okay. Oh, wait, it's not in front of me.
It's not in front of you.
Oh, okay. That seemed really real. Sorry.
It's okay.
Do not
Petunia
taunt
just
Happy
looks-
Fun Ball.
Petunia just looks up at Barry and says, "It's happening. There's bad things and crunching."
Yeah, you know what, Petunia? This is absolutely your fault, and I don't forgive you.
What are we talking about now? I thought we were trying to get in line for this roller coaster.
Petunia's getting in my head again. Don't let her get in yours.
It's fun in there. There's something happening at the Frightful Mountain. Somebody's neck went.
Ah.
Is this something that like would tip the rest of us off, Faraj?
I mean, you guys
No?
have been
Okay.
you've all known each other for a while. You definitely know that these weird ass siblings definitely have visions every now and then, and a lot of times they're on the money. Petunia's seem to be more of a premonition of things to come that could be avoided. Whereas Barry's visions tend to be something granted upon them by their fate that is supposed to help them out. So they might bicker about it, but from your experience with these two, their visions tend to be on the money.
Well, I'm glad I brought my giant bag of supplies, if that's the case, says Amelia.
Yeah, sure. We're definitely going to need that large bag of supplies for a pulsing ball on the ground. I have no idea how any of that is going to come in handy.
Are you mocking me, Barry? Because I'm very prepared, okay?
Oh,
Let's
you're
just-
more prepared than I, and I am very thankful to have you here. Gotta help me keep this one in line.
What?
Go ahead.
What's in it?
Well, I've lots of things. I mean, it's endless. I've put everything in there, really.
You're lying to us. You're just trying to impress us.
I don't need to try.
Not impressed.
Go ahead.
I just think it's quaint that you have to use the bag, and with that, Abdiel will just sort of reach up into the air, and from nothingness, random object will appear. They'll look at it. I don't understand the need for bags, and
The
with
nearby
that,
child just goes,
it will disappear back into the nothingness.
No, not all of us are strength-based.
Petunia just takes her doll and starts swinging it back and forth, skipping towards the ride and just singing, "Here we go to the mountain brink, in the mud my soul will sink," and just starts skipping along the way.
I love her dearly.
I do too.
Wow.
I shall
Barry,
follow.
Barry, you're losing your sister this time, right?
With any luck. And he kind of gives Petunia kind of like a "I am terrified of you" look up and down. With any luck, she'll walk out of here caring more about her impending raccoon doll than absolutely ruining my life. That's the plan. And he's awkwardly shuffling forward.
Amazing. You guys begin to make your way through the crowd. The one child who had stopped to admire the magic trick has been pulled away by his parent. But you guys make your way on. You pass the info desk where it seems somebody in a very stuffy suit of critter is standing there holding balloons in addition to giving out information. And as you are heading through the park, one thing you guys seem to notice is that they're pretty understaffed. You've really only seen the sweaty guy at the ticket booth, whoever is in the suit at the info desk, and maybe like glancing into the crazy zone or into the arcade, you've seen like one person in each area dressed in the uniform. You would expect to see at least a few more people, but it seems like they're pretty understaffed right now.
Don't expect their customer service to be very great, but
Wonder if they underpay them.
oh, certainly they underpay them.
As I look at this place.
I think they're under something.
So, we're gonna get up there on a ride, and then they're gonna be short-staffed, and we're just gonna get stuck. Well, you all are gonna get stuck there. I'll just, like if I'm at the top of the Ferris wheel, I don't stay at the top of the Ferris wheel very long if I don't want to, but you all will be.
Grumbles, if it's an issue, I can get myself and 2 others down. We'll be fine.
Amazing. You guys eventually reach your destination of Frazzle's Frightful Mountain, which is indeed a fake mountain on top of a mountain, because you're on a mountain, with a roller coaster weaving in and out of a few caves. And you can see at the very peak there is a door with the tracks leading out of it into a very sharp drop. That seems to be the end of the ride.
I'm
There's
going to die on this thing.
There's a single employee standing at the entrance of this. There's still a banner hanging over the entrance advertising that it is a new attraction here. You guys would probably have heard that this place has been recently expanded, and you would assume this is one of those new rides.
Well,
You see a young teenager. He's standing there, you know, same uniform on. He's got black hair pulled back into a little ponytail, dark skin, and he's just kind of leaning on the table, staring with a 1,000-yard stare. Judging by the track behind him, it looks like there's somebody already on the ride.
Is the teen standing next to any walls or anything?
Not really, mostly just the, like, booth where he lets you in and checks your height and all of that.
Okay. Grumble.
Perhaps Petunia won't be tall enough, and then we can go back to something else.
Grumbles
Luckily,
is
it looks
gonna,
like she's just tall enough.
Oh, of course. Go ahead.
Grumbles is gonna phase through the booth and appear right next to him and be like, "Hey, are you alone?"
You do so easily because this man is just not paying attention, and he just jolts up and just goes, "What the fuck? Yes? Do I need to press the red button? Are you gonna rob me? I don't have any money, man."
No, I was just wondering if you were alone. You ever thought about dying?
What?
I think
Okay,
what
we'll talk.
Grumbles! It's a
what
little...
Grumbles yeah, go ahead.
No, please, lady. It's...
Amelia will be like, "Oh, we just were anticipating maybe riding this thing."
Right. Can you get your friend out from behind the booth? This is kind of employees only.
As soon as they turn their back, Grumbles will like phase out of the booth.
Petunia's just gonna stare up at the car on the roller coaster or whatever it is that is rolling and just staring at it, looking at it like.
You can see that she's very excited.
Oh, yes. Well, the folks should be returning any minute now, so, if you don't mind waiting maybe another 30 seconds, and as he says that, you
Glad
hear
we bought the fast passes.
You hear a bunch of screams as the doors at the peak open, and you see the roller coaster just immediately go straight down and eventually pulls up back to where you guys are.
Okay, straight down in the way that it was intended.
In the way it was intended.
Just clarifying.
That's fair.
I
It
did
looks like it
immediately think.
continues on a track.
Yeah. Yes,
It
I
is-
just assumed it was...
on a track.
Oh,
No,
wow.
there is a drop in the track. It is supposed to be scary. This is the Frightful Mountain.
Right.
I thought
immediately
Toonsis
went
the
to-
cat was driving, and I got scared.
I immediately went to Final Destination.
Oh no.
As we're heading into the ride, Amelia will ask the attendant, "And why is it that there is not very many people working here today?"
Oh, well, you know, we just one of our employees hasn't. It's been kind of no call, no show for a couple of days, and a couple other people have just called out of work recently.
Have you thought of unionizing? It might improve conditions.
My boss says I'm not allowed to talk about that.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Hey, I was just kidding about earlier, but seriously, if you want to talk about it later, that's cool.
It
Well-
won't matter.
Let's get this
All right, so
creepy
keep your
child on the
arms and
roller
legs
coaster.
inside the vehicle at all times, please. Buckles all of you in.
Petunia,
just
that
wrap my
includes
bag
the arms
around
and
my
legs of your
leg?
doll.
Or do I have to like leave it in one of those bins? I'd really like not to.
I mean, it's kind of you've seen how sharp it. If you think you can hold on to it, but we're not going to be responsible for any stuff you lose.
Lost or stolen items? Okay. I'll just Amelia will wrap it around her leg and like just keep her foot down and close it.
Sounds
Hopefully that works.
Petunia skips happily towards the roller coaster.
You are all sat in the roller coaster. The bars pulled down over you. Grumbles, are you getting on or are you staying off of this? Just out of curiosity.
Grumbles, get on.
Okay. So, the whole family is tucked neatly in. Eventually the lever is pulled and you guys are off. This seems to be, in the beginning, just your regular spooky dark ride where you go through some sort of shitty narrative about Critter and his friends skipping through the mountains and coming across this terrible giant purple alligator dragon. You're not really sure, but she's mean and she doesn't like people being on her property. So basically the entire ride is her trying to chase you guys and Critter and Co. off.
Pretty.
The usual. But eventually, the ride makes its way up to what you can assume to be the peak, where our dear friend Frazzle, the purple alligator dragon, has cornered everybody. And you can see her as a large animatronic just over the exit, reaching down over as if she is about to grab you, but of course she is just an animatronic, so it's just kind of a spooky ooh. Lights are flashing here and there. You can hear the recorded laughter as she is just like, I won't let you leave alive. There's a pause, as if there's supposed to be another line of dialogue, but you don't hear anything except for a couple words of like static. And looking over to where that sound came from, you do see another animatronic of our dear friend Critter, who you've seen plenty of times throughout this ride, but this one just seems kind of, it doesn't look like it's working right. This one's not moving, this one's not making any noise. And it's a little hard to see, but looks like there's something sticking to it. But you don't get too long to look as the doors open and the ride immediately goes right out. And soon you are back at the entrance.
Grumbles is gonna phase out of his seat
All right.
and investigate whatever that was that we saw.
Oh, cool. Then why don't we investigate a mystery? Sorry, what is...
Yeah, I want to ask, like, how do I, if I have a skill to read a bad situation or investigate a mystery, how off does it need to be? Is it just a guess?
Just however often you would like to. If I don't ask you to, if you see an opportunity to and you would like to specifically, by all means.
All right.
So let's see.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as he phases through. Oh, what's that?
All right. So go ahead, do me a favor, and let's read a bad situation. So roll plus sharp.
Is that both of us or just one? Nope.
I'm gonna say both of you.
7
Okay.
for Grumbles.
I'll squinted at it before we zoomed past. It's the tough situation is +2, so it's my dice plus the 2. That's an 8.
All right, so that's gonna be 2 mixed successes again. So that means you both can ask 1 question each. Here's the list of questions. Let's see. What's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims? There's no victims here yet that you can see, but you can choose from any of those questions.
Can I ask what dangers we haven't noticed?
You know what? Forgive me. This is only my second time running a game, a Monster of the Week. This may, in fact, actually be Investigate a Mystery. So, rephrasing. It is still plus sharp, so your rolls are still the same. Just different questions, so I apologize about that. Your questions are instead, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here? And again, obviously only certain questions are going to apply.
What is being concealed here?
Great question. What are you going to ask?
If Grumbles is going to ask that, Amelia is going to ask, where did it go?
Okay. So as Amelia, you are zooming by, like that brief moment you get a chance to squint at and be like, huh, something's up with that thing. You look at it and you can tell that there's definitely something on the animatronic. In fact, it seems to be sort of leaking down from it and pooling into this sort of sack at its feet. It looked pretty nasty, so doesn't seem to be going anywhere at the moment, but it is very much stuck fast to our dear friend Critter. As for Grumbles, you phase out, land on the tracks. How close are you getting?
Gonna walk right up to it, I guess.
Here we rise again.
All right.
Just let me go poke this for a little while and see what happens.
Cool. And I'm sorry, you were asking what is being concealed here?
Yeah.
You go over, you see pretty much the same thing. You see our dear friend Critter standing there, but there's this horrid black tar-like substance that's just oozing out from it and covering parts of it, almost like a web, like a wet, sticky web. It's kind of gross. It kind of looks like it's something that was left in a Tupperware in the back of your fridge for like a year at least. Like that one episode of Cowboy Bebop, you know?
He's gonna wipe his finger through it and lick it.
Oh my god.
What's it taste like?
You try to get some on your finger and it sort of follows your finger for a bit but retracts and you don't get anything on your finger.
So it's like a goo?
It's sticky. It's like a goo.
Can I like pull some off? Like can I grip it and pull some off?
Yeah. As you do, you try and pull a little bit of this delicious gum on the underside of the table off. Mm-hmm. And as you do, we'll say that you're poking and prodding near the sack at its feet, just for funsies. And you pull back a little bit of this tar, and you see an eye staring back at you.
Oh, hey, what's up?
No response.
Is it like an eyeball that's detached?
Pull a little bit further. You can see some skin there. It's kind of looking nasty, but pull a little bit more aside. You see a mouth open wide in horror.
Well, this is why I carry Ziploc bags, so... gathers up whatever.
CSI Grumbles.
He's gonna just put what he can in a Ziploc bag and be like, all right, well,
cool.
Work here's done.
You do so, and when you put it in there, you do see it sort of twitch, pulse a little bit, but otherwise, you have secured some nasty shit.
Okay. And none of it looks really like edible, because
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. All right. Because
you can definitely try.
Yeah, I asked because that's his curse, is he has to feed on people, so. Okay.
I don't know if this would be considered a people.
Okay. Alright, just checking. I'm seeing if it looks yummy. Alright, after that, Grumbles is gonna, walk back and phase through some stuff to make it back to the start of the ride.
I will say, though, there might be a free meal if you dig into the sack a little bit more. Which I think is a great idea.
Did Grumbles' nose pick that up? He's like, oh, what's that good smell? And then,
Yeah, there was definitely a dead body in there.
How big is this sack? Like, is this a...
Human-sized.
Oh, it's human-sized? It's like
Oh, yes, it's human-sized.
Oh, okay. So there's just a trash bag.
Yeah, of
body in
nasty,
it?
gross shit.
Is the,
Sort of just pooled at the
There
feet
is-
of this animatronic.
Is there a skull and, like, brains in there?
You would assume so. It still has skin.
Okay, well, Grumbles is going to look for that first. So if he finds some brains, then he's going to eat that, but then, like, reserve the rest.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you can do it. It's nasty. It's horrible. But that's just everyday, business for you. But one thing you do notice is after you tear apart this sack and dig in, get your free meal, the sack does begin to heal itself and sort of reform. You occasionally have to pull your hand back so it doesn't try and trap you in it.
Oh, it's like a Venus flytrap, but with brains in it. That's cool.
Amazing. But
I don't
congrats.
know who invented this, but this is a pretty good system. So.
Congrats on your free meal. Everybody else, you've probably been waiting at the bottom for maybe 10 minutes after noticing that your friend Grumbles phased out at some point. Still hasn't returned for a little bit.
Well, I hope he's not looking into that weird thing that I saw. I saw that, like, weird creature, the raccoon thing. Awfully painted, but that wasn't the point. The point is that there was something, like, on it or, like, near it. It was very strange. What did you have a vision about again, Petunia?
Oh, there was a crunch, and there was goo, and it was gross. And
Were you
on the
just
mountain.
imagining Grumbles having lunch?
he eats dead people.
At that time,
Mostly.
Grumbles would be back towards the group with a Ziploc bag filled with, like, body parts. Like, hey guys, I found a snack.
It looks delicious, Grumbles.
Hey,
Amazing.
yeah. So there's where's that kid that was running the ride?
The kid who was running the ride has been sweating profusely watching you guys because one of the people riding the ride went missing and has been freaking out this entire 10 minutes trying to figure out if he needs to tell his boss or not. But seeing you finally return just sort of collapses into relief.
Hey kid, any burps real quick? Hey, kid, how long you been working tonight?
Tonight, I mean, it's like noon, but like a few hours since the park opened. Why did you get off? You can't get off the ride. That's very dangerous.
Oh, I fell off. It wasn't my fault. You need to check your ride. It's not very safe. As a matter of fact, there's some fishy going on around here.
As his attorney, I assure you that we will be investigating this matter.
You see this kid's face just go wide, and again, they're a teenager, probably like 15, 16, and they're just like, you can't sue me, right? Like,
No,
that's
you're fine. Don't worry. We will go after the park. Are your parents wealthy?
do you think they'd be working here if they were?
You're fine then. Don't worry.
Who's the manager around here? Who's on shift on this ride? Because there's something real peculiar.
Technically, I'm managing this ride right now.
Yeah, but are you the only one who operates it?
Right now, yeah, we're kind of short-staffed, and I don't know. If you have any other questions, can you talk to Mr. Gugarf? I don't know much.
And where is this Mr. Goober?
Gugarf.
Googarf?
Googarf.
Goober, Googarf. All right, writing that down.
That's an extremely suspicious name.
Mr. Ray Googarf is the sweaty man in the suit who's manning the ticket booth because he doesn't know how to do anything else.
With the bald guy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to actually like run any of the rides, but we're so short-staffed, so he's taking money.
Well, that seems like everybody in the park could easily just anarchy. I mean, if he doesn't know how to run anything, you guys could demand higher wages. You could demand pretty much anything you wanted. I mean, what is he going to do? Just shut down all the rides for the day?
See, as we were talking about, this is the time to unionize.
I thought we were like monster hunters or something.
I want you guys
The
to know
monster
that
is
group,
capitalism.
Oh, right.
absolutely,
The monster's the ugly bald man at the front desk.
Right.
100%.
It's only one of many monsters.
Hey, lady, do you have room in your bag for the Ziploc?
Of course. And Amelia will open up her bag, and it just kind of like, make space.
You might have wanted to take a look at what that was before you
Oh,
put it
right. Yes.
there, but
Pull
Grumbles.
it out. You see, Grumbles, dear. Did you take just some of the nasty biz, or did you take some of the body parts?
Mostly the nasty stuff to show that it was a body, but he ate the brains of the individual, whoever that might have been.
Okay.
So you got some
So-
eyeballs, you got some maybe an organ or two in there.
And also that nasty, webby tar substance that has since started to sort of cover the eyeball and the organ.
Yeah, the MacGuffin. Yeah.
Sure.
Would I perhaps maybe have I don't know, a chemistry kit in my bag that I could I don't know, test this chemical on?
I'm sure you probably do. Is that a move that you have?
Is the preparedness mood when I need something unusual or rare? I don't know. Feel like
Yeah,
a chemistry
absolutely.
set is
Sorry,
like
taking a look at it.
chapstick, you know.
Right.
I have a lot of that.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll plus sharp, and we'll see if you have a chemistry set or something.
Oh boy. Amelia rolled 12.
Oh, beautiful.
sharp.
Yeah. You reach in, rustle around, and pull out pretty much an entire table full of chemistry supplies.
So cool. I don't know if I know how to use them, but I don't know. That's a
Entirely different matter.
I don't know. It doesn't do anyone else in the group?
Nope, that's none of us feel the need to show off all the time.
I'll just see if maybe I read about this instead in my, I don't know, Monsters, a history book.
Why don't you text your AP chemistry classmates? How about that?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were here for a roast. I'm rather unprepared. Petunia, do you have anything? You're better at insulting people than I am. Never mind. Don't answer that. So do we want to take down the bald man at the front desk? Because that sounded mighty interesting. But I also am not too keen on the idea that we now have something really gross in the most prepared person's bag here. That doesn't seem like a good thing to me.
I'm all for the random kidnapping and questioning, but I don't really think that I'm very good at it personally. So why don't you all take part in that?
Oh, I'm happy to do the kidnapping. The questioning I am fair at, but you can't eat him yet.
No. Hey, that's not what I was gonna say. All right, I just ate.
It's a fair presumption.
No, it's not, because I just ate. I just told you I ate. That's kind of rude. You think that I just eat 2 dinners?
You're
Anyway.
looking chunky.
I didn't want to say it, but Petunia is right. I think it's time
Are you
we
saying-
get back to a little bit more stringent of an exercise routine. That's all.
You saying that I fell through the ride because I'm getting fat? That's
I'm
really-
saying that you walk very slowly.
That's an attitude thing, though.
I think we need to get your heart rate up a little bit more. Or lack of it, I don't know.
So, what is everybody doing?
I think we should go and interrogate this strange Gugarf. Right? Did I say it right this time?
Yep, Mr. Ray Gugarf.
Smashing.
For his name
Maybe where his
alone.
family name came from. I'm not sure.
And just to clarify, Mirage, to make sure I understand, when we go to like the ride and we had the start of each mystery, is each ride a mystery or is the mystery for the whole adventure?
Oh man, that would be a lot. No, this is the
Okay,
You
just
got
wanted
your-
to make sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, do we need to do this a little faster?
No, it's good. I'm enjoying this. So, you guys all begin to make your way back towards the ticket booth where the sweaty man was. You pass the info booth where the person in the mascot costume holding the balloons just sort of very exhaustedly waves. And you go back to the ticket booth where he is still helping customers. How are you going to deal with this?
On our way there, we'll talk about our plan.
Yeah.
What's our plan?
I can stab him.
Nope.
I think we should begin with speaking.
I can make people do that too, actually.
I believe if we start by telling him that you fell out of the ride and that we need to have a discussion about that, that might get his attention.
Right.
Can you limp?
I'll
More
limp
than normal?
the time.
More than he already saw you limping?
Let me work on my my crip walk real quick. He starts dragging one leg.
Better.
You do so. Is that
Hold
the
on.
plan?
And
We-
then he reaches down and pulls out his leg from its hip socket real quick. He's like, okay, now it looks really good.
Better. Good call. I will walk over and knock on the window. Excuse me. My friend fell off of your ride. We need to speak with the manager immediately.
You see this man
And
who
I
is
point
already
to the slumping, leg dragging Grumbles.
Grumbles is just
Definitely
gonna
not
fall
a
over and be
zombie.
like, oh, what kind of racket are you running here?
this man's face also just goes white and he's just like, oh no. And you see him like dart back real quick and after maybe 30 seconds comes back with another disheveled looking teen who he puts at the ticket booth. They look very confused as to why they're there, but he does not seem to explain things and he runs around, heads out the door to greet you all and motions for you to come with out of the public and into his office.
As we shuffle out of the way, Amelia will be like, yes, Mr. Gogurt, we have some questions for you.
Actually, it's Gugarf.
Oh,
Grumbles is gonna just low crawl over, just very dramatically, like,
Petunia,
Hey.
Do we need to call your friend an ambulance? That looks pretty.
Grumbles.
No, we won't call an ambulance.
Grumbles.
We've got.
You're an
fixed
ambulance.
here.
Do you feel better?
no.
I don't think calling him an ambulance will help.
And you better have some answers here, Mr. Googly.
it's the goo that goes say boo. We went up on a ride, but down from there, the front from us, the spooky crew, the monsters cannot hide.
Grumbles while
Amazing.
he's prone and like pointing up at him. Is that how I use Dark Negotiator? Can I use that?
Go ahead and read the move to me. And let's see.
You can use Manipulate Someone move on monsters as well as people if they can reason and talk.
Yeah. I believe. Well, let me
Negative
pull.
1 in charm though, so it's kind of silly that I.
You sure are.
I love it. I love that. I'm also -1 in charm.
Too hoity-toity.
Yep.
Oh my
Call
God.
myself.
So that specifically just means Dark Negotiator means that you can use manipulate somebody on monsters in addition to people. So you would just be using the normal
okay.
manipulate someone.
Cool.
So what are you trying to specifically manipulate this man to do?
You better tell us what's going on with people dying around here, because obviously, and he points
Is
down to
it
his
dying? Go ahead and roll and manipulate somebody. Which is going to be plus charm.
Oh, it's -1, so it's a 6.
Can I chime in and help out?
Yes, I believe, if I remember right, because guess who doesn't read things very well? I believe that gives somebody +1. So
7.
that brings it to a success. We'll say as a group effort, helping
Right.
out. Between the two of you. Jesus fucking Christ, this group. So he is dabbing again, just trying to get all of the sweat off, and he's just like, listen, you said you don't need an ambulance, so I'm sure you're fine, but why don't we... Here, you go off, and I'll have somebody go to the, I'll help you out with the first aid in just a minute, and I'll talk with your friends. So one of you accompany your friend over to that door over there, if that's okay.
You didn't really say that you're gonna help us, though.
I will. I just want to be sure that you are going to be okay. You are on the ground dragging yourself, and I don't want to call an ambulance, so I'm just saying, if you can go get
Listen,
some
you got
first
two
aid.
options. You got 2 options. You do what we say, or something bad is gonna happen.
As Grumbles
Something
say
bad
this,
happened.
as Grumbles says this, Abdiel will take Grumbles' leg and just sort of shove it back into the socket.
Is something bad happening? I'm asking
this
if or about to happen.
About to happen.
That's one of the hunches skill. So I just wanted to ask real quick if it would be something that Petunia could use right now, just having heard something bad will happen.
Yeah, let me take a look at that move over real quick. Mm-hmm.
And it's somewhere that we are not,
Cool.
or I am not.
You don't get any senses of anything you haven't already felt at this moment. So
Okay.
not quite yet.
Okay.
So you shove his leg back into place.
Grumbles is gonna crawl to the designated location, not standing or anything. He's gonna continue being dramatic.
Okay. Mr. Gugarf will open his office door and motion for everybody else to step in so that he can answer your questions. And then he kind of peers back over at Grumbles and is like, somebody want to go and help him out? Please, I don't want a lawsuit on my hands. Like,
All right, I'll help him. Amelia will help Grumbles into the office. Like, oh my God, you smell. When do you shower ever? Oh.
amazing.
Why do I need a shower? What do I gotta look good for? I'm not trying to impress people. That's your thing.
Clearly.
You're succeeding, Grumbles.
So you two head into what is it called? The medical room, where the medical
Where
area.
the Band-Aids are.
Yeah, where the Band-Aids are. They'll give you a little Band-Aid with a little picture of Critter on there, and they'll give you a lollipop, and they'll send you off with a broken leg. Meanwhile, the rest of you are ushered into Mr. Gugarf's office, where you see plenty of pictures of Critter and crew all across the walls, and there's a little golden statue sitting on his desk, which is very neat. And he goes and sits at his desk and motions at some chairs. And he just leans forward and goes, I'm sorry, you said you wanted me to tell you something about deaths happening? Did one of your friends die? I thought he just fell out.
Yeah, so...
You're not here.
Oh, dang it, sorry.
We
Nice
came to understand when he fell that he found remains on the ride. It seems as though things are amiss here.
4 people will go crunch.
Do you mean like some sort of animal got up there?
No.
'Cause, like if it's a person, I would imagine you would have called the police.
Well, we are here speaking to you first.
Right. He reaches.
Would you
under
prefer
his
that I call
desk.
the police?
He pulls out a checkbook and is like, "Why don't you show me where this is, and then we can discuss things. But show me where these remains are."
Why is it that you're so short-staffed, and why is it that my dear niece is feeling like this place is such a terrifying location? What's happening here?
I mean, some people just don't like animatronics, and that's kind of our deal. You know, I've heard that there's a whole phobia around it. So that might be what's going on with your dear... He kind of stares at Petunia for a moment. Anyways. I think there must be a cold or something going on because we've just had so many people call. I don't know. People just don't want to work anymore.
Well, perhaps if you increased their wage to a living wage and provided some form of paid time off, they would be more incentivized and maybe got rid of whatever was killing people on your rides.
Killing people.
We can't help
which
with the
ride?
first 2 items, but you apparently have a checkbook and can. We might be able to help with the last.
Which ride is it?
The mountainy thing.
New one?
Razzle dazzle.
He will tuck his checkbook into his jacket, stand up, and motion for everybody to follow as he begins to head towards Frazzle's Frightful Mountain, leaving Grumbles and Lady Amelia alone.
Are
Oh
we in a separate
my.
room?
Yes.
Amelia, we need to tell that guy. I don't want money. I just want him to do my math homework for the rest of this semester.
Oh my gosh. You're just hopeless.
I'd rather... I mean, like, I gotta go sit in math. For why?
Would
Not
I... Would Amelia know to, like, go check in? Or it's also cool if we just stay there, too?
It's entirely up to you. Basically, he was trying to get you off of his hands. So you are sitting in an empty room with nobody there. You see a first aid kit on the wall and, like, a bench. It's very bare bones here.
Amelia is going to be not enjoying this, so she's going to take the first aid kit off the wall and just hand it to Grumbles. I'm not staying here with you. I want to know what's going on.
Well, I don't need this.
Well, then, let's go.
I'm a fucking zombie. Like, what am I gonna... And he throws their first aid kit.
I don't know, maybe you want to eat it. Weird.
No, it's not... It doesn't have that nice spongy taste. You know, it's not...
Stop
there's nothing
talking.
So you two make your way out of the office after waiting a few minutes to see if maybe somebody would show up. Nobody does. Deciding that you're bored, head out just in time to see the rest of them heading off back towards the mountain. So easy enough for you guys to catch up to the rest of the group. Mr. Gugar kind of glances back as you catch up and is just like, "Oh, I'm glad to see the Band-Aids seem to be working so well for you."
Yes, Mr.
He
Goody,
kinda-
we're doing fine.
Puts his hand over his jacket where his checkbook is, suspiciously. But he continues to lead you on And eventually you guys arrive at the foot of the mountain, where he will step off to the teenager running it for a moment. They have a brief discussion. And as soon as the rest of the guests are off of the ride is closed. And he turns to everybody and just says, "So, where was this dead animal that you saw?"
Oh, we got some parts actually.
Dead animal parts?
Yes, I guess I'll share those. I don't know if there's an equivalent of an insight check in this game, but I will hand over the parts.
Oh boy.
Also, if you find a body without brains, it wasn't me. I just found it like that.
Grumbles, I don't think we need to share with Mr. Gargamel anything more than he needs to worry about.
Can Barry kind of wave his wand under his cloak a little bit and try and use magic to do one thing that's beyond human limitations and kind of go, truth is Bothus. Like he can't lie to us about what's in the bag.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So cool.
Go ahead and roll me a plus weird to see how well your magic works.
Okay. Here we go. So +2, 12.
Beautiful.
Sick.
So, magic works without a hitch. You mutter that under your breath and point your wand, and the guy kind of looks at you and kind of sneers, "Oh, cute, a Harry Potter cosplayer." But it seems like the magic has taken hold, and you see a brief light in his eyes, and he just sort of pauses for a moment, and then looks back to the thing in his hands, and he just goes, "Now I'm sorry, you took these remains from the... Why did you get off the ride? This is how you got hurt, is you got off the ride to look at this?"
He doesn't listen to anyone.
I fell out of the ride because your ride sucks.
And happened to find these remains.
Yeah, so not only do you got a real bad liability problem, but also you got some murder going on. So it's like a, what do you call those? Double headers? Yeah, one of those things.
Well said, Grumbles.
No, I'll have to check the security footage just to be sure, of course, but,
I'm sure there's a way we can go up and investigate. There must be a maintenance stairwell. Grumbles, please lead Mr. Glenlivet up to where the
right. So
remains.
No,
were.
not that.
Seat.
Don't go that way.
This is the seat that didn't work, and then he's gonna grab the harness or whatever and use magic to make it weaker before he rips it to actually damage it.
Okay. Go for it. Roll me a plus weird.
I just want to say, side note, I'm very curious about this whole backstory of these weird critters and stuff. How do they become friends and stuff?
You'll have to ride a different ride to find that out. I'm sorry, 9?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it works, but imperfectly. You're going to have to pick a glitch. So...
Ooh.
The glitch is here.
Problematic side effect?
Problematic side effect.
No side effects.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, you reach over and grab this, do a little bit of magic, and easily it just comes off. And as it does, you go to show it, and you hear the cart start to move.
Oh,
and off it goes.
See, look at that. It's just got a mind of its own, really. Do I still have
Mr.
a piece
Gugarf.
of the cart?
Mr. Gugarf just stands there, holding his head, staring at this, completely flabbergasted. And he looks over to the kid who is still standing behind the now closed ride, and he just says, "Jose, could you call Mr. Cawthorn? I know that he hasn't shown up for a while, but just give him a call just in case." And the kid,
Hawthorne?
like, Mr. Cawthorn.
Caw-
The kid sort of nods and runs off. And Mr. Gugarf will begin to head towards the staff-only entrance and motion for you to follow. Because this is definitely how it works in these sorts of situations. Is he just lets you in. It's fine.
Yeah. Mr. Goofy, we definitely have clearance for this.
Gugarf.
Oh, right.
This
Mr.
is
Gregory, I don't know
absolutely-
where
It's
you're.
Gugarf.
Not
So-
one single sign of danger here. This is good. This is where we want to be.
We're just going to bring a child in with us. Let's go.
The crazy sound, a broken bone, a noise it did go crunch. It crumpled to the ground below because we had a hunt.
Blood just drains from the man's face as you sing. And he's just like, this is the scariest day of my life.
She is
And then,
charming.
So calming.
Petunia, how about you had the line, and then Grumbles had a munch after that, because that's what happened.
So where exactly did you fall off?
I don't remember. It's all just such a blur. I'm so traumatized by the entire ordeal.
He was sitting next to me. It was up near the top where the dragon alligator purple
yes,
thingy.
Frazzle.
Ah, yeah, yes. Yes.
Of course, of course. Right, well then, this way, and he begins leading you in a direction. Eventually, you guys do make your way to what you can assume to be the back of that very room. Peek out from one of the doors, and you do see the same dark room with flashing lights. You see the tracks. As soon as you step out, you see the roller coaster, in fact, stop right in front. Before the scene plays out, you hear Frazzle above the door laugh, say her line. There's a pause where somebody's supposed to say something, but it doesn't, before the ride goes off. And you do see, relatively nearby, our dear friend, Critter, the animatronic, looking mighty nasty at this point. This black tar-like goop is not just oozing out from it, but is also just beginning to cover it at
That's
this point.
Banded?
Seems like it.
Okay.
Seems like the sack at its side has also gotten smaller. Smaller than after Grumbles had a little buffet. But seems to be moving its mass a little bit.
All
That's
right,
weird.
well, is this a read a bad situation moment?
Great question. It definitely could be. Go ahead and roll me a plus sharp.
All right.
Petunia's back.
Welcome back.
He looks down. She's like, "Where did you even go?"
I feel like I'm channeling Charlie the Unicorn.
Oh God. Oh
Charlie.
God.
That's an 8, so
All right. You may ask a one question.
okay.
What's your best way in? Best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What is the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims? Which you can
Ooh.
assume is probably going to be you guys.
Do I choose the vain one, which is what's most vulnerable to me? No, I will choose. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
You take a closer look now that you aren't on a ride that is moving, and you definitely notice some weird stuff with this. Not only is this substance covering this animatronic, seeping out of it, but it seems to be growing a few parts, and you can see some metal seeming to grow in a few spots. It definitely shouldn't be like that. Looks growing almost like a crystal would grow, or a stalactite, but just right out the side of it. You can see some of that black goop just starting to stick to it, and almost looks like muscle on bone,
All right.
but metal.
I'll share that with the group. Looks like this maybe body that's been consumed or something is growing something?
I am going to try to manipulate this guy, and I'm going to look at him and say, Mr. Gandalf, I believe it would be a good idea if you went over and told me what that tasted like.
Amazing. All right. Fucking yeah, go for it. Roll me a plus charm.
9.
Okay. So you asked him to taste it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see what happens.
I'm sorry. Taste. It looks like it's. I don't want to say mold. I don't think we have a mold problem here, but looks like maybe something is growing off of like I don't know, fox corpse or something.
Oh, I assumed
If
you
you want
were
me to eat
generating licorice or something.
Why don't you try it with me?
Oh, gladly.
I had some earlier, Mr. Giglamish, and it was pretty yummy. Just gonna say.
He just looks at you, shakes his head, then looks back to Abdiel and motions for them to go first.
Let's do it together. And I will reach out and attempt to take a swipe of it with my finger, and if he follows, then as he is doing the same thing, I am going to attempt to fake him out and not put it in my mouth. But if I can't,
Beautiful.
if I can't fake him out, then I will in fact taste it.
You both reach in and attempt to, and this man looks absolutely disgusted, but dead set on doing this to prove that it is not in fact a deadly mold in his establishment. So he reaches over and touches it and tries to scoop some up in his finger, but again, it sort of just sinks back into the mass and none of it comes off. He just goes, oh, well, that's too bad. It doesn't feel like mold though, so,
Should really think about growing some more and harvesting it, maybe selling it at the farmer's market.
Can Petunia investigate it?
Sure thing.
Actually, yeah, that was a question of mine. For Investigate a Mystery, is that a game thing?
No, that's
Okay.
in certain situations.
Then in
so,
that case, I'll help out Petunia, which I think is a thing I can do, right?
absolutely. So that would give Petunia a +1 to her roll. So
After-
Okay.
Roll cool, right? To see if it succeeds.
we'll just say yes because.
Yeah.
So. Here we
Okay,
go.
that's a 10.
Okay. Very nice. So you are able to ask 2 questions from the list of what happened here, what sort of creature is it, what can it do, what can hurt it, where did it go? It's right in front of you. What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
I would say, what sort of creature is it?
Mm-hmm.
And what can hurt it?
Okay. Just cool. So you squint at this thing and try and just tune into it, see what you can gather from it. And you get the feeling as you stare at this thing, it doesn't really look like any sort of monster that you've encountered before. And you've met some, cryptids before. You've talked to a slender man. You've fought a Mothman, done some shit like that before. But this just seems entirely alien to you. In fact, it seems like it might be alien. You aren't entirely sure what, but not of this earth. And what can hurt it? You specifically take a look around. You don't see This is not one of those rides where the tracks go through water, you notice. This is a very dry place. It's high up. There was the remainder of a lake back in the rest of the park behind the crazy zone. And it is a decent distance away from there. And this is probably the highest point here in the park. And looking at it, you just get this sense that this thing is trying to keep away from water.
Okay, so yeah, with that, just investigating and just continue looking, and just kind of like looking at it, going, from the sky it will die, covered in the rain, because I believe water will cause it lots of pain.
Amazing. Well, Mr. Gugarf tries desperately to ignore that, and just looks at this strange mass at the feet of this animatronic and just goes, well, this doesn't look like a body to me. It looks like some weird plant is growing here. I'll call somebody to look into it. But thank you so much for your concern. And I'm so glad that you, sir, seem to be doing much better. He says, looking towards Grumbles.
Yeah, you ever seen the movie Alien? It's kind of like that, I think, except there's no facehugger in the sack, so I think in general it's probably okay. I don't know what's growing, though, so you might want to figure that out.
He has a Band-Aid.
Yeah, well, it was a really bad fall.
Oh, how close is it to the water? Like,
Not close at all. There's no water here.
okay.
This was a sense that Petunia got as some weirdo kid who can tune into a different sort of wavelength. She looked
Okay.
at this and she just got this sense.
We already asked if he knew anything about this, and he's given us like.
Yeah, and he is
Straight
under a
face.
spell of truthfulness right now, and he
Right.
does not seem to be lying. He seems
Right.
completely clueless and just trying to avoid being...
He's just an overwhelmed businessman who doesn't know what's going on in his park that we're harassing.
Harass him more.
Okay.
He sort of tries to shuffle you guys back out the staff-only
He's
exit.
creepy.
And it's just like... Go ahead.
Mr.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, as he shuffles us out, Amelia will be like, "Well, Mr. Go-Kart, if we find anything else, I'll be sure to come to the front entrance and let you know about it."
Yeah,
Thank you so
thanks.
much.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Gundam.
It's quite all right. He'll shuffle you guys out, trying desperately not to engage in conversation with you anymore. Eventually, pushes you out of the staff-only exit and shuts the door behind you. He remains inside to probably check out some other things, but you are all left.
Did I give the Ziploc bag of stuff away, or did I just show it to him? I realize it's unclear.
I'm going to say you just showed it to him. He doesn't want to
Okay.
keep it.
Okay.
Is there like games where you win prizes, and are there any water guns or super soakers or anything like that?
Laser tag.
Absolutely. In the arcade, laser tag is great. In the arcade, there's definitely plenty of stuff to win, and you're pretty sure as you passed by, you saw some like Nerf guns and some water guns. And in fact, if you look at the very beautiful map that I crafted tenderly with my own two hands, Frazzle's Frightful Mountain is in fact between two water rides, as well as relatively near a lake. A very small lake.
Are there any parts of this park that are also very far away from water? Or is this like the mountain like the most distinct?
The mountain seems to be probably the furthest in that it is the tallest. There's some other areas that might be equidistant, but
Okay.
you get the sense that this might be the only place this thing is probably staying at. Well, you guys head over to the arcade.
I think Petunia has probably a good idea.
Yeah, sure, this is exactly what we should do. Give a weapon to the small sociopath.
With that, she pulls a shotgun out back and says, "Oh, big brother." And that's all.
Seems like
I love
she
it so
has that
much.
taken care of.
Wonderful. So you guys head over to the arcade, intent on winning some water guns. Step
Yes.
in. There's one person manning this place. You can assume because of the short-staffedness. They seem very tired, very overworked. It looks like they've probably been working a week straight, and they're just standing at the prize counter staring off. But you guys go in, get some tokens, and are very easily able to begin to play some games, to win some tickets, to win some prizes. And I think this is a good place to take a little break.
Ah, before we go to a break, we should really thank Mike for the raid.
Oh, heck yeah, thank you for the raid.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
1991. Where
All right.
Maybe, Mirage, you want to recap what's going on real quick, and then we'll cut to a break.
Yeah. The party has discovered that there's some weird alien goopy mess at the top of one of the rides here and has bullied the manager of the park and decided that the best way to take this down is water guns. And they're not wrong. So they're about to win some water guns. That's it.
Lot
Very
going on.
We'll see you soon.
See you in 10 minutes, kids.
Welcome back to Critter's Crazy Park Adventure. We last left off with our heroes heading off to the arcade
Sure.
to go and win some water guns so that they can fight off whatever strange alien thing is hiding in the animatronic atop Frazzle's Frightful Mountain. So, you all, very easily enough, spend like an hour all playing some games, chilling, winning some tickets, and you're able to get some water guns of whatever size you want. If you want a little tiny one, if you want a big one, go nuts.
Do we have any sense? I know you said alien, but what kind of alien?
What's that black goo from Spider-Man?
Oh, Venom.
Yeah,
Venom, yeah.
that's exactly what I was.
Yeah,
No, not quite as hot. I'm sorry.
All right.
yeah no, there's no Tom Hardy around here.
Well, I wasn't talking about him, but okay.
I'm trying to think
Anyways.
of like what type of water gun Amelia would get. I feel like probably like very simple,
This is very
streamlined.
important character decisions.
This determines everything.
What type of water gun you win from the arcade is going to make a difference in the end of this game.
I knew it.
So you guys pick out some water guns.
Petunia
And-
gets a super soaker as big as she is.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Petunia, you can probably also win a little plushie of Critter, everybody's favorite, the little raccoon. So,
I get it
Is
and
it-
then pluck its eyes out.
Is it as creepily made as like the drawings are around?
Oh,
these?
absolutely.
Okay, great.
No,
Awesome.
I leave the eyes in.
Only way they should be.
absolutely. You guys begin to make your way out of the arcade. What are
I
you
feel like
doing?
we're like a really weird, like Ghostbusters, but like not as cool scenario right now with our super soakers.
Petunia starts skipping towards the water rides, just singing the water gun. Let's have some fun. We'll shoot that monster pal. It will die. We'll have some pie while Barry dies somehow.
that, I would like to say Barry snatches the water gun out of Petunia's hands and makes sure it's a water gun.
It is, in fact, a water gun.
Well, Roy, I guess you can have this back.
Thank you.
You're okay with them having a water gun, but you clearly saw them with a shotgun earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure she didn't have another one stashed somewhere. That's something she would do.
She pulls out a rifle.
She knows how to use it, right?
2 is 1, 1 is none. That's fine.
So we don't probably need a plan to like even sneak in because like there's like nobody left in this park.
Well, if we wanted to, I can transport 2 of you straight up there.
Do we need water in the water guns first? They're not loaded.
Why didn't we load them?
Yeah, that's why I was skipping to the water park.
Oh, just a drinking fountain.
There are
You're
also
like at the
drinking
wave.
fountains.
And
There
to
is
ride the
also
rides.
a small lake that is also available to you if you want to use delicious lake water to slurp up. But entirely up to you.
Grumbles gonna find a bush and like pee in his.
Gross.
Can zombies still pee?
I don't know.
He
This
did
one
consume
can.
A lot of he did consume a lot of liquids when he ate the body parts earlier, so I would say.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, you piss in your water gun. Hey, be nice to him, young lady.
Yeah, zombies are like cats. They don't actually prefer to drink. They
Yeah.
just like well-hydrated food.
Yeah. Yeah. Brain very spongy, like takes up a lot of liquid.
Yeah. Cerebrospinal fluid.
Hey guys, I'm ready.
I'm not going to ask. Let's go.
You guys begin to.
Is it
make your way
always
back
that
over.
black?
I guess they put some in the lake.
Right.
Begin to make your way over. As you guys do, it is early afternoon by this point. Still plenty of people out and about at the park. You guys are passing several bushes decorating the sides of the walkway, and a little ways up on your way to Frazzle's Frightful Mountain. You see something in one of the bushes begin to move around. It looks...
I'm gonna squirt a little pee at it, whatever it is.
No.
It's like a child.
We need a water bottle. This is devolving so quickly.
You
Like a child, said the child.
immediately hear this metallic sort of tiny screech, although it sounds like it is in everybody's dear friend Critter's voice. One of those recorded lines, but just sort of manipulated in some sort of weird way. And you just hear this tiny little screech from the bush, and you see this something drop. Looks like maybe the size of, I don't know, beaver. In fact, it looks like probably a dead beaver. And across it you see skittering. Looks to be some kind of weird... It almost looks like a Furby, but with Critter's face. And metallic spidery legs with that black goop just seeping out of it. Skitter
terrifying.
cross.
Skitter like cross like away.
Very much away from the piss that was squirted at it.
Grumbles is gonna twirl his gun and then holster it,
Where?
just in his pants pocket, since he doesn't have a real
Okay.
holster.
Can I investigate a mystery in this situation?
You know, I think you probably can. Go ahead and roll a plus sharp.
I've read about something like this. Ooh, I rolled pretty bad. That is a 6.
That would be a fail.
You get to
Yes.
mark an experience level, though.
I just get pee in my eye. Just, ah.
Ah, God.
Critical failed. You drink the pee.
No. Just want it in my eye.
Anything's better than that.
Okay, so you try to get a closer look at this thing to figure out what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And you inch closer to the bush with the dead beaver in it. And some of the other guests walking by stop and stare. And they're like, oh my God, did she kill that beaver? Did you see that? Somebody just shot that beaver. Did you see that? And they just start whispering to each other, staring and watching all of you. As
We
you
are
look at
from the
this-
exterminators. It will be fine.
Kill the
Rumble.
beaver with the cleaver.
They
There's
look
been an
at
infestation.
all of you.
Amelia's just like bright pink. Yeah.
Grumbles is gonna put a hand on the holstered water gun and hold a hand out and be like, "All right, stay back. It's under control.
You the people
Rabid
like
beaver."
the ones closer to you like smell something. They're just like, oh, okay, and they start to back off a little bit. A
Yep.
few of them
For
keep
you-
moving on. A few
For
of
your
them
own safety.
watch.
One of those weird skunk beavers. You get too close, you know, you don't
A
know what'll
skeever.
happen.
Yes, they're very dangerous.
That's right, skeevers.
Amazing.
So because I fail, then like I don't get to know any information, right? Just like,
Correct.
Okay.
In fact, you drew some attention towards you.
Act normal, everyone. Stop that.
This
Stop
is
being
normal.
yourself.
Sadly, this is normal.
Amazing. But by this point, after getting distracted by all these people and your friends chasing them off, it seems like whatever had snatched this beaver is gone. You can't really see anything other than this poor dead beaver.
Well, anybody know any taxidermists?
Ooh.
It is a nice beaver. We should have it stuffed.
Yeah, I hear beaver tail's okay. Mostly from homeless people, though, so I don't know.
No, that's enough from you. Petunia, what do you think?
Can Petunia read a bad situation? Is the situation still bad?
Well, I think in this case, you should actually roll for one of your hunches, which I was actually just about to ask
Okay.
you to do. So go ahead and roll a plus sharp.
All right. Hunches plus sharp. Oh no, that's a 6.
Oh boy, that's another fail.
We get to the part where we suck at rolling.
Yeah, 6 means when we get there, it's
Yeah.
just in time to get ourselves in danger.
Well, you have a feeling you probably know where to go.
You know what? I am going to use one of my lucks.
Ooh,
Mm.
gonna mark a luck for an automatic success. So, after watching this weird Furby ass thing skitter off away from this little dead beaver, you stare off for a minute and your eyes just go blank as you begin to have one of your totally normal, not supernatural hunches. And you feel like Mr. Gugarf probably went to go poke around that stuff. And that's probably not a good idea.
Mm.
We better hurry. Gilgamesh will get gooey.
Mr. Garfield's gonna get eaten.
You just hear a distant, it's Gugarf.
Can Barry kind of whisper to himself and try to observe another place or time? And kind of with his wand just All right, show me the go-kart.
Yeah. Remind me, is that one of your moves, or are you just trying to do use magic?
It's just magic.
Cool. Yep. Go ahead and roll plus weird.
Don't roll a 6.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. Mixed success. So in that case, you will need to go ahead and pick a glitch. The glitches being the effect is weakened, the effect is of short duration. You take 1 harm, ignore armor. The magic draws immediate, unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect.
I am not a ballsy person, so I'm just gonna say it's weakened.
Okay, sounds good. And what were you trying to do?
Scry, kind of.
Okay.
You
Trying
know,
to-
if that makes sense.
Yeah, trying to see
Mm-hmm.
where you guys have already been. The mountain.
What the heck that dude's getting himself into.
Gotcha. Cool. You wave your wand, mutter a couple of words, and squeeze your eyes shut as you try and get a solid image of what is going on, and the vision kind of fades in and out for you, and you see this sweaty suited man just stepping through that back room that you guys went through and heading up towards that same room. He seems to be occasionally stopping and checking for equipment, gathering some like tools, it seems, but that's about all you are able to see.
I just want to warn Barry that as I use luck, my dark sides get nastier.
Petunia, I don't believe you, but if you if you insist, I would suggest you don't go in that direction. No one here needs to see why we left the orphanage.
Amazing.
It's not there anymore.
How's the...
Oh yeah, sure. Why the orphanage left us? All right, moving on.
How was the food there before you left?
No.
Oh,
Uh,
we're not talking about that, all right.
it was delicious. You would have hated it.
What do you mean? I love good food. I eat good food all the time.
Ratatouille is my favorite. So what are you guys doing?
I wish I knew something about this, but I don't think I know anything about this. Because it sounds like it's totally alien. What do y'all think? Maybe go spray water at it? See what happens?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Easy.
I think we need to get there. That hunch is he's about to get
Yeah.
monsterized, or he's going to, because we're going to get there too
Yeah.
late.
Oh, no, you spent a point of luck. I
Oh,
believe
that's
on
right.
that
That's
one,
right.
so
I did. So we can.
You'll be
still
able
I-
to get there in time.
I can take 2 of us instantly, or myself and 2 more instantly.
Oh,
Hey,
maybe you want to do
I got
that.
a,
I think-
a idea here.
I think we're going to get there in time, so we might not even have to utilize an ability to do that. But...
All right. Go ahead.
So I was thinking that I could just, pop in through the roof with my gun and go.
Just at whatever's in there. You're not going to look first. You're just gonna.
Well, I mean,
like,
the worst thing that's gonna happen is, I spray someone with some pee, and then they just get a little annoyed, and then I just float on through the roof again, and then it's fine. But best case scenario, then we're in an advantageous tactical position.
I don't know if anyone wants my opinion.
I would love it. Please.
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 Thank you. But I think that Abdiel should teleport a couple people in, and the rest of us should just catch up. I think this is important. What if something happens? I'll run later. I don't need to go. I'm not very strong.
Looking down at his wand, Barry. I wouldn't choose me first. It's like dodgeball, the orphanage all over again, right, Abigail? Except she was always picked first. She's got a hell of a leg.
All right. Well, Grumbles, Petunia, how about we pop in and
Yes, take the child.
Let's
The child has the most armaments, so
She said poof.
Petunia's fine. Pretty sure that like nuclear weapons can stop her.
I wanna make sure that I'm there first in case Mr. Gumbo dies. I wanna eat his brains first.
all right.
I have a
all right.
question for Mirage. Does that potentially count?
Yes,
as
it does count.
Giving advice? Okay, great.
So, because you are often right, when hunters come to you for advice about a problem, you gave your honest opinion, and if they take it, they get a +1 ongoing while following your advice about that situation. So, any rolls you guys have to make in regards to getting there as fast as you can have a +1. So, Abdiel, I believe you do have to roll for your teleportation.
Yeah, I will use my angel wings.
+1.
Oh, that's terrible.
Don't forget you have luck.
I'm gonna use luck.
Sounds good. All right. You use a point of luck to make it an automatic success.
Yes, I do.
Now, do I want a jinxberry before we leave? Not yet, not yet.
Don't you dare.
Wait until it's dangerous, then.
Gotta wait till I'm a little less lucky.
Cool. So, you grab onto your two friends and teleport away. What does your teleportation look like?
So it's very it is the one moment in which Abdiel's sort of divine presence really manifests itself. They sort of gather the two around them and their wings spread out from everything, and as the wings fully extend, they just sort of blink out of existence where they were and pop immediately into the next place.
Hot. Where are you guys doing this? In the middle of the...
Yeah, no, we just go.
Okay, cool. A few
Magic trick.
passersby are just like completely shocked. A few others are just like, yeah.
Amelia and maybe Barry will just take bows. Like, yes.
Petunia just looks up as the wings come out and is just like, there are angels where I usually go.
Barry's probably
You'll
like
be
waving
back.
his wand, like acting like it's him that's doing it. Like,
Amazing.
As soon as Grumbles appears wherever he is, he's gonna spray in an arc with his gun and bite at the air to make sure that he's not appearing as like that.
he's gonna run out of ammo.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is ridiculous.
You arrive, landing in that same dark room with the flashing lights. You hear the laughter of your friend Frazzle. Just in time to see Mr. Gugarf stride in through the maintenance door to the side with some tools haphazardly stuffed into his pockets. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. The very nasty animatronic to the other side, and you immediately just you get Mr. Gugarf and you get the animatronic in that.
Mr.
So-
Gilmore girl, be careful.
The goo is gonna get you.
He immediately
I think
just
you meant a Google girl.
Oh god, is that piss? And just backs up and is like, how did you get in here?
We're asking the questions here.
There's time
No,
for
you're
that.
not. Oh god,
Keep spraying
Ugh.
the thing.
All right.
No. And he just turns around and leaves.
Petunia. Help.
Come back, Mr. Gulag.
You just see with pulling out this water gun that's as big as she is, and just as like excitedly just, and then looks at to see if there's any goo or animatrons that are activated, and just is like, H2O time, and
Still seems like it is just the one for now that is currently being affected, but also it seems to have, in the time that you were gone, completely sort of absorbed that little sack and now seems to be growing a few extra limbs that seem like metallic claws or spider legs out of it with that nasty goo sticking around it. So it seems like it's growing and pulsing a little bit, and as you both hit it with your piss and your water, you immediately hear this, again, just sort of metallic screech. It's Critter's voice from one of the lines that's recorded that he is supposed to be saying here, but just twisted and just sounds terrible. And the animatronic, which has until now been completely unmoving other than the occasional pulsing, you do finally see it move, and it begins to move just like an animatronic with those stiff movements. And then you begin to see those extra limbs start to move in a much more organic way. And
Well, I hope the others are on their way. And at
I was gonna say I don't know when we arrive. Mirage, you can decide.
Right.
don't worry. You guys were booking it. I'm going to say
I'm
in a couple of seconds.
gonna go
probably.
ahead and smite the thing.
Yeah?
So I'm gonna use my thunder hammer and go after this thing.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
roll for some kick some ass, which
Okay.
kick some ass means that both parties are going to be kicking some ass. It is not necessarily a you make an attack and you hit. It's fun.
Okay, so I rolled a 10, and then the harm comes after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I rolled a 10.
Cool. So how are you attacking this thing?
Seeing it beginning to move in this super organic way, I just reach out to the side, summoning my thunder hammer from its extra dimensional space, and just kind of take 2 big strides over and just smash this thing.
Beautiful. Yeah. You easily go over and smash it. It has not quite begun to move too much yet. So
Okay.
you're still easily able to smack down on it. How much harm?
2 from the smite, 3 from the thunder hammer, so 5 total, and I will go ahead and use the inflict terrible harm on my 10 for 6 total harm.
Fucking gorgeous. All right. It reels back from that attack, and as you get up close to it and smack it around with your hammer, you notice that the spots where it had gotten squirt with the water seem to be sort of hardening, stiffening. They don't seem to be growing back, unlike where you smashed away. It seems to be reforming.
Okay.
Definitely did some damage, but it doesn't seem to be permanent.
Keep pissing on it, Grumbles.
Petunia is going to use magic
Okay.
and
gonna do?
is going to like take her doll and says, "Don't you want to stay and play with her?" And basically the effect I'm trying to go is to trap a monster in place so that the monster is like trapped playing with the doll.
Oh, that's
So-
fun.
So
Yeah. Fucking roll for it.
some magic 4 for 6, but I'm gonna use another
Your last
luck
point of luck. All
and make
right.
that a 12 to
Just so you know.
sorry, Barry.
It was time.
Mhm.
Okay, so so I'm gonna use that. So
Sounds good. So you are now out of luck, which to those who have not played Monster of the Week before
That means-
means that I get to do something nasty whenever I want to.
Ooh,
So,
cool.
anyways. So you were making that a success, and you were trying to hold it in place to make it play with your doll.
Yes.
Beautiful. Absolutely works beautifully. You see this thing immediately, as soon as it gets slammed into by Abdiel, it starts to just grow and pulsate, and one of the extra limbs that had grown just begins to grow and lash out into this odd spider-like limb, and it attempts to go for Abdiel, but upon seeing your doll, goes for the doll instead. So it doesn't move.
Her name is Sparkles.
Not anymore. Your doll is no more, unfortunately, but you have distracted it, and it is now currently digging very much into your doll on the floor.
You just see Petunia's eyes go extraordinarily cold.
Beautiful. I'm gonna say at this point is when the others are able to catch up. You pass Mr. Gugarf in the hallway, running away, covering his face, smelling like piss. And he sees you, and he's just like, "What are you? Please!" And he keeps running.
Stay back, Mr. Goofy. We've got this.
He just keeps going. The scene that you come on to is this lovely animatronic has suddenly grown significantly and is lashing out at Petunia's doll and is tearing it to shreds right now.
Scared as I am of that, I think that it should be more scared of Petunia right now.
Oh, absolutely. This is not good news for this thing.
This is terrible. We're all gonna have the worst car ride home.
Horrifying.
Yes.
Grumbles is gonna dive forward and try to take a bite out of it. Nice.
Yeah. Jesus.
And as Amelia comes in, I look at her and say, "Shotgun." Because I don't want to be stuck in the back with the other two.
Fucking amazing.
I just rolled their DM, and I got a 12.
Beautiful. So that is going to mean, Chris got to it before me last time, you get one extra effect. So while kicking some ass, you can either gain the advantage and take +1 forward, or give +1 forward to another hunter. You can inflict terrible harm, which is +1 harm, suffer less harm, -1 to you, or force them where you want to.
Do plus harm, so he's gonna do 4, I believe, because he's a zombie, so he bites a little harder, and then so it'd be 5 total.
Beautiful. You take a bite of this thing. It tastes probably real nasty to other people, but to you, it's like, not bad. But yeah, you tear into this thing, and it unfortunately is going to tear right back. It was distracted from Abdiel by the doll, but not from you, unfortunately. So it is going to move its animatronic head, which still somehow seems to be mostly intact. The eyes are kind of bulging. One of them is falling out and into the goo, and you can just barely see some of the teeth. But it sort of like snaps towards you, and one of the limbs immediately just goes and lashes out towards you, and you are going to take 3 harm from it.
Ooh, okay. Bah!
So, who next?
Is asking like a question and getting a response from someone else in the party like chill? And
Yeah,
then I
you can
do
totally
okay.
do that.
I guess Amelia's gonna like call out like, "Is the water working? Is the water hurting it?"
Yes.
Assuming.
Water.
All right. This is a weird ask, Mirage, so feel free to say no. But in my magical Mary Poppins bag, could I like pull out like the end of like, I don't know, a fire hose and just like
Oh my
make
God.
it work and like try to is that, I don't know, maybe-
Fucking roll for it. Let's
Yay!
see. That's delightful.
Awesome. I'm going to, I rolled an 11, I think. That's yeah,
Damn.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah, okay. So you drop your water gun, get out the big gun, reach into your purse, pull out this fucking hose, and just blast it. And you get half of it, and immediately you can see it start to like shrivel and shrink and harden, and it screeches out. And at that point, it tears itself up from the ground and begins to just skitter across the tracks onto the other side away from the water, attempting to not get killed by the water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just,
So-
if I can, like just spray Grumbles accidentally as I continue to spray.
Oh, that's nice.
Go ahead and also do me a favor and roll for act under pressure. So roll a plus cool to see
Okay.
how well you can keep control of this
See-
thing.
See how well that's a 5. Do I let myself fail or do I use luck?
I don't know.
I want. You know what? I failed earlier. I'm gonna use luck. I've one left after this, so.
Beautiful. So, you make it automatically succeed. So that means you are easily able to hold on to this hose and your bag somehow and keep it trained on this thing. And it just is screeching the entire way. It definitely seems to be hurting from this. Any of the damage that had been done to it, the bite, the hammer, they seem to not necessarily heal, but sort of start to patch themselves back up. Not this time. It seems to just sort of melt a little bit, but it's still going. So, what's everybody else doing? It has skittered across the tracks and onto the other side.
Should we keep kind of the same order that we've had, I guess, with Barry going next? Just
Do
for
whatever you guys want. You
just for
can.
sanity's sake.
Sanity with these characters?
What do you
Okay.
mean?
In an attempt to try to get this thing to calm the heck down, Barry will adjust his bathrobe, cinch the middle real quick, and step forward with confidence, with his wand out. All right, I didn't want to have to do this, you foul thing. And just, he's trying to make a showy entrance into a dangerous situation right now. And I did roll a 10. So my
All right.
sister will absolutely have your head if you don't get back here right this instant. And it has to stop while I'm saying this. And Barry, I would like to say the tip of his wand kind of turns into a snake with water gun fangs for a second. If you don't come back here and take a bath, I swear to God, I will make sure this is your last day.
So unfortunately, when Barry does this, it's sort of like when a toddler has a temper tantrum, you can't tune it out. And you just kind of, your attention is drawn to Barry and you have to listen until he's done. That also stands for the monster, which it is this weird animatronic goop spider thing has crawled onto the wall of the cave of the mountain that you guys are in and is currently next to everybody's friend Frazzle, the alligator dragon, currently on the wall next to that. And it just sort of freezes and its head again just and looks towards you. One of the eyes still just drooping out, but still looking at you. You can hear, again, just a scratchy critter's voice attempting to say whatever recorded lines there are, but they're just not quite getting out, and they kind of gurgle a little bit. But you have its attention, and it has stopped, which means Lady Amelia has plenty of time to fucking hose it down. So, what is everybody doing?
If you could just soften it up a little bit, my teeth hurt a little. You know, I need to...
Petunia just looks at the creature and then looks at the roller coaster cart that takes the ride.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm losing that.
Uh-oh.
Well, we knew something bad was going to happen to Petunia.
That's what you get for using all your luck points.
That's what you
Yeah.
get for using all your luck.
That's how it goes.
Rider, since it's on the
In the
tracks
chat.
now, correct?
Oh.
Is going.
Oh, are you back?
Oh,
You're back.
I am I back? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So Petunia is basically going to jinx again.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's going to try to do is inflict one harm on the target due to an accident.
Mm-hmm.
So going to try to she's going to just glance over at the roller coaster cart that's just sitting there and then just make it start moving. And then it's
Okay.
going to hit the monster for 1 point.
Cool. The monster is currently on the wall,
Oh,
not
it's on the wall.
necessarily on
Okay.
the tracks.
Okay, well then scratch that. So just gonna take this super soaker then, and then attack with it, which would be what? Kick some ass.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Kick some ass is what? Tough.
Yep, plus tough. And you are a tough little girl.
It's a null. So that's a 6.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are out of luck.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you just see her eyes just kind of hair starts flaring back. It's very Drew Barrymore in Firestarter.
So where exactly are you standing as you are doing this?
I was I'm standing where my doll was destroyed.
That's fair. Okay. So you attempt to hit this thing on the wall, but there's so much going on between your fucking brother talking and Amelia with the giant hose and this thing trying to skitter away on the wall. It's hard to get aim at it, and also you're standing over the dead body of your best friend, your doll. So just don't quite make it. But the monster seems to zero in on you as it sees you feebly attempt to attack it. And it deftly dodges through some of the water across the tracks, and it is going to take a slash at you.
I'm going to protect someone.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to dart in front of this terrifying child. Go
Yeah,
ahead and roll a plus tough.
9.
Okay. So, you dart in front of little Petunia, seeing that she is about to be snatched by this nasty critter. And instead, you dash in front and just take the full brunt of the slash as it just goes straight at you. And you are also going to take 3 harm.
Does divine armor reduce that by 1?
Yes.
Cool.
I am not accounting for everybody's armor, so if you have armor, you keep track of that.
Seeing this,
I'm too stupid.
and of course,
That's a lot
having
to keep track
used all her luck, Petunia you just hear in this voice that's a little bit different. It's just like, now you will pay.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Me or him?
I would like
Which
to
one of us?
roll for act under
She did-
pressure to run the fuck away. I'm kidding.
I would like to leave. Beautiful. All right. So, Grumbles, Barry, what are you two doing? Amelia? up?
I'm assuming that I'm still trying to dousing whoever else is in the way too. I'm just really scared. It's like
Sounds
a
good.
terrifying
Just-
spider that I see in my bathroom while I'm getting my makeup on.
Hey, yeah.
Grumbles is gonna go for another bite here. He's going to try and latch on. And I made a mistake, so it'll be 5 harm this time, not 4 this time when I roll if I hit. I'm going to use a luck point there because I rolled a 3.
Nice.
bud.
I love seeing everybody use up all of their luck.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Not
So
doing
automatic
well.
success, and you said 5 harm?
Yeah, feed him. Yarr! Doing that.
Cool. And let me check something.
Can we get a quick synopsis after you check something on like
Yes.
what being unstable is?
Oh, is somebody unstable?
I'm about to be if you hit Grumbles.
Delightful.
Is Abdiel, are you
No, I'm fine. I mean, I
Okay.
took a little bit of damage, but
okay?
I'm okay so far.
So, thank you so much for asking. When you hit that point of unstable in your health, that means you pretty much need immediate medical attention or else bad things are going to happen. You're not quite dead yet, but it means you're, I don't know, maybe bleeding out, you have a broken bone. It's not good. You won't be able to do things very well at all. So, good
Awesome.
luck.
I have no harms, I think. So I don't know where everyone else is at. I forgot to keep track.
No, I really appreciate you bringing that up because guess who forgot to say anything?
It's okay. I think it's good for us, and then everyone who's new and watching. That's also helpful.
Yeah.
Barry, do you have harm or no?
No. I will say Barry actually will turn to Petunia. It's all right. I have plenty of luck for the both of us. And he rolled 2 5s, which are actually 2 4s for him. So I'm actually marking 2 marks on my experience because I got a total of 6 or less. So that's a fun thing that I'm doing. And he's just kind of holding his wand at this thing and it's shaking a little bit. And he's looking at Petunia and looking back at this thing and looking back at Petunia and looking at this thing. Oh, I've already died once. You think I'm afraid to die again?
Beautiful.
That's it.
Well, after Grumbles had taken its mighty chomp, between all of you squirting this thing down, hosing this thing down, I need to get this thing a white t-shirt. Anyways, so between the hose, the water guns, and all of your damage, this thing is starting to look pretty rough and shaky. The parts that you can see that are still animatronic seem to tremble a little bit and slide out of place a bit before being brought back up. It's not looking super hot, but
This is oh, go ahead. Whenever there's a moment, I wanted to ask for Amelia, who has often. Wait, never mind. That wasn't it. It's just I think it's just she's weird and knows a lot of things. I don't know if I need to ever roll to see if this makes sense ever.
some weird alien thing.
Doesn't.
You don't
Okay.
know.
Cool.
Grumbles,
Yes.
you used your luck to make that a automatic success, right?
Yep.
Cool, which would, I believe, be a 12 if I remember right. I don't remember. I
Yep.
don't read things.
It
So,
was.
that means you get to pick an enhanced effect for your kick some ass. So, you completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 forward. You suffered no harm at all. Your attack inflicts
one.
double. Wonderful. So, this...
Grumbles
ahead.
just flopping around, just holding on with his teeth. Ah!
Amazing. It tries to get at you, but it's like you're right on its back, out of its reach, and between the water, the water like slowing it down, it just gives up. And at that point, the cart for the roller coaster has come through, stopped at the gates. Our friend Frazzle has said her line, which means that the doors are opening. This thing sees that and immediately darts out past everybody. With Grumbles in tow.
Can I go after it and try and smite it?
Yeah, you can definitely try.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me some. I'm going to say act under pressure for this one, so please roll me a cool to see if you can get it before it gets out.
10.
Fantastic. So, to describe this, as soon as the doors open, that is where the drop on the tracks, the intentional drop, is, and this thing seems to be intending to go straight down that as well. You are probably able to catch it if you're intending to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to catch it just before it gets out the door.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll some kick some ass.
Okay.
So plus tough.
Oh, I'm gonna burn a luck point.
Ooh.
I got a whole bunch of those, so. Oh, that's better. That's
So
plus
if
tough,
you're burning a luck
right?
point, it's automatic success.
Outstanding.
Yep.
Yes, then I will take my automatic success.
All right. That also means with a 12, you also get to pick. All hunters involved get a +1 forward. You suffer no harm. Your attack inflicts double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy away.
Does driving away mean it just flees, or is it defeated?
It's already fleeing.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do double the normal harm. So that would end up being 10.
Arm?
Cool. So, you
Yeah, I like smite.
Swipe.
That's fun.
at this thing as it is attempting to dart out of the roller coaster with Grumbles in tow on the back, still chomping on. Lady Amelia, you are still locked on.
Bring my
trying to
dog
beat
back.
both of them. You're easily able to smack this thing with divine fury, and you smack it good. It reels back and attempts to latch onto you, and it is able to grab you. And it pulls both you and Grumbles down as it starts to tumble. Not run,
Uh-oh.
not skitter, but tumble down the roller coaster tracks.
I am going to go ahead and grab both Grumbles and the thing and Angel Wing back to the party.
Beautiful. Go ahead and roll for that.
Whoa. I was like looking at my sheet. I was like, what can I even do?
Oh, this is where they die. Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. What are my
Oh.
skills?
While you are doing that with all of
8.
this shit that has been... 8?
8.
Okay, good to know. With all this shit that has been going on, the entire building has sort of been shaking as this thing has been darting around. You guys have been following it, fighting it, and our friend Frazzle, the animatronic above the door, has been shifting ever so slightly.
Punches?
Petunia.
Yes.
It is going to fall, unfortunately, with a terrible creak and groan of metal before it snaps. And you kind of hear her laugh before she tumbles down. And you think you're maybe safe enough. You're not in the tracks, and she's right above the tracks, right behind where those two just fucking fell, probably to their deaths. You think you're probably fine. But as this thing crashes down, some of the debris immediately just whips out towards you, and you are going to take 4 harm. As a piece of metal just latches right into your shoulder.
Okay, I'm unstable.
When we already knew you were. I'm just kidding.
And injured.
Now that Petunia is hurt, how does that work? Can Amelia help?
Yeah, you can head over and you can definitely try to patch her up, make sure she doesn't die. But in the meantime, as that was happening, Abdiel was teleporting the beast and
Trying to.
Grumbles away. Trying to. So on an 8, go ahead and read us what happens.
On a 7 to 9, you don't quite manage it. Either you are all separated or you all appear in the wrong place.
In the water pool. In the water pool.
Delicious. Oh, in the water pool? Okay. Grumbles, you suddenly appear over this giant wave pool and you just fall right in and immediately get washed up to the shore. And then you get pulled back in and then you get washed back up. There's
Just
a few
gonna
other
stay here.
people here. They seem to be having fun.
I'm gonna stay here until somebody thinks I'm dead and moves me.
Amazing. Abdiel, you are able to teleport back to the correct place. You make it back.
Check.
Arms empty. And you look over and Petunia is
Yeah.
supposedly on the floor about to bleed out with a chunk of metal sticking out as there's a large smoking animatronic grounded behind you. Lady Amelia is attempting to young lady stop that.
I'm imagining that Amelia is just like dropping the hose, whether it's in or out of the bag, and be like, Petunia! And like, it's flailing in the air. And she runs over to Petunia and like, it like knows, I guess. I don't know what you roll to help a person
So-
not die.
In this case, you can use magic to heal somebody.
Okay.
So,
Would
go
that be,
ahead.
would I know that maybe Barry is good? I mean, like, I'm okay at it, but Barry's still there, right?
Yeah, let's get Big Brother to be responsible.
Barry, here, I'm stabilizing Petunia. And I'll like hold it so that, I don't know, she doesn't bleed out. Yes.
Sounds good. Barry, would you like to attempt to heal your sister, or are you just gonna be like, nah?
Payback's a bitch.
No, I rolled a 9.
You don't have luck?
I was so close. Yeah, I'll
Do-
use it.
Do
I'll
you get
use
a
it.
+1 because I'm helping, or?
Oh. Okay, then I'll have to.
I'll
use
say
my luck.
yeah.
Then I get it.
Fuck it.
Okay. Then Barry runs over. Still has that. It went from a scary-looking snake with the speech to a very scared, shivering-looking snake with the failed attack, and now it's like a proud-looking little nurse snake. And its little fangs have changed from water guns to trembling icicles to now they're little like syringes. And Barry just walks over to her and puts his wand on her shoulder and goes, I love you. And just lets the snake bite her to heal one arm.
Amazing.
That stabilizes Petunia. Who's
Beautiful.
like, I love you too, big brother.
Oh boy, I was afraid of that.
Amazing.
Nobody
just gonna wait
gets
for
to
them to
fuck with
hug.
you except for me.
Barry like does one of these like.
Petunia just reaches up and takes Barry's hand and gives a somewhat comforting, somewhat terrifying smile.
A little bit of blood.
What lovely.
Pretty much Petunia's only look.
So, Abdiel, you teleported back here without either of the things that you intended to come back with.
Yeah.
Petunia seems okay for now, but both Grumbles and the monster are missing.
Can I? It's under use magic. It says summon a monster into the world. Can I use magic and summon this thing back?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Oh my god.
I will try to summon the thing back.
But
Yeah,
not Grumbles.
bitch.
Just leave him in the pool.
And I'm
Summons a monster.
yeah.
Grumbles just pops back up. Hey.
That recycling wave is kind of like
Yeah.
a washer.
I'm gonna go ahead and use luck
Just throw some
for
detergent
the
in wave pool.
guaranteed success.
Grumbles
Sounds
pops back
good.
up with a band-aid because he picked it up from the pool. It's been used.
Oh,
Mhm.
no.
Abdiel, does that mean that you're out of luck?
No, not even close. The joy of being divine.
Fun.
I still got 2 more
Okay,
luck to
how much
use.
luck?
I think I started off with only 2 used.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
being
that's fun.
being
Wait,
divine
is
gives you.
everybody's luck the same, or is it different?
You all started with 2, but some playbooks are different. Some people are blessed by the gods.
Like the
Not
divine.
you, Petunia.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I
Yeah.
have several luck boxes.
You do have several, but you only had 2 for this mystery.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I still have 2 open.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm just gonna summon this thing right back to me.
Yeah, absolutely. You immediately just reach out, close your hand, pull it back, and suddenly, with a burst of light before you, a ball appears about this big, made of what seems to be the same material, but again, just condensed and convulsing at this point, and it sort of splats onto the ground.
Petunia.
This sounds like something
rises-
very described.
I've seen that.
Petunia rising up takes her super soaker
Mhm.
and is gonna try to kick some ass.
You don't even have to roll for this. You
Oh.
loom over the dead body of your doll. Feel the fury of a child who has lost her favorite toy. And you point your water gun at this thing. And you can still, you think, hear just the tiniest little screeches as you completely super soak this thing. And it condenses into this very tight ball before just crumbling and dissipating in the puddle of water that is now surrounded it.
In like my tattered onesie pajama booties, I just kind of throw a tantrum on top of it and just am like,
Beautiful. Hey Grumbles, how's the wave pool?
He's still just getting battered around, and he's just like,
Just letting it happen.
Maybe at least crawl onto an inner tube or something.
Spa day.
I think if you're just laying around, eventually one of the lifeguard, they can't afford anymore.
Is
They
that a
can't afford
corpse?
anymore. But a lifeguard's gonna dive in and probably pull you out and
As soon as the lifeguard touches Grumbles, he's gonna be like, you just dislocated my shoulder.
God, alright. Well, he pulls you to the
That's
shore
why
anyways.
liability insurance is so high. He's like slipping jimmies over here.
You got kids with machine guns in the park, Matt.
Who allowed this?
2 of them per kid.
It's just like schools.
Oh,
After he gets his shoulder dislocated, he's gonna look up at the lifeguard and be like, "Hey, are you alone?" All right.
He looks around at the wave pool, which is full of people. Do you need medical attention, sir? Here, let me
you
walk
just
you
pulled
to
my
the...
shoulder out of my socket, so
You seem
yes.
fine. He pats it down.
Are you even qualified to rescue someone? Demonstrate to me how you perform CPR. I bet you can.
Back at the where the rest of us are, because Grumbles. Amelia's gonna be like, "Oh, so good that Grumbles isn't here." Amelia, you did it! I'm so proud of you. She's gonna say between screams of the temper tantrum.
Jumping up and down at it. I don't know. Never mind. No, it doesn't make sense. I'm too upset to investigate.
Sounds good. You've been stomping on it and yelling at it for a while, and you can guess that it is pretty fucking dead.
I think the only thing here, Amelia is going to say mostly to Barry and Abdiel, is to figure out if there's any more of it, or if that was it.
Agreed.
What is being concealed?
So,
Calming down a little bit, having seen that, I would like to investigate a mystery if I can.
yeah, what are you...
What I'd like to do is what is being concealed here.
Okay. I can tell you without rolling, nothing. What's being concealed is the little bits that are left that you've soaked up in your little footy pajamas. That's it. But it seems like this thing is dead. Don't see any other traces of it. It's just sort of dissipated into the puddle. Doesn't seem like there's anything else around here. And you guys do eventually make your way out. You guys can hear Mr. Gugarf in one of the rooms gagging as he is probably trying to clean the piss off of him as you pass by. But you...
Mr. Goldilocks, we seem to have solved your problem.
He pokes his head out and just goes, "What? Okay." And he just shuts the door.
And Grumbles phases through the door and says, "Hey, your lifeguard dislocated my shoulder. You'll be hearing from us." And
You guys just hear a "ah!" from the inside of the door after it closes.
Oh, hey, guys.
On the walk back to the parking lot, Amelia's gonna be like, I honestly, if I can't have shotgun, I think I might just ride on the roof or something.
It's your turn.
You guys are able to check around the rest of the park. You don't see anything else that looks suspicious. It looks like that was probably the only place. You maybe check in with a couple of the employees. They haven't seen anything else suspicious. And you maybe stop at the arcade to get a replacement doll.
And just looks up at Barry and just looks and says, "We may be doomed, but you're my brother." Which is probably as close as Petunia can get to.
Do we think those two things are...
Petunia, that is the most genuine
related.
thing you have ever said to me.
What?
That was wonderful. Thank you.
I
You
imagine
didn't even have to die this time.
Blood still just like pouring down your...
You know, I pride myself. There was the boy who lived at one point, but I'm much cooler than him. I'm the boy who died, so.
Right.
Right, more street cred. Yeah,
You know, I'll protect you with my life, even though you have no regard for mine.
But you
What
have a
brothers do.
soul.
You get creepier by the day, dear sister.
I can't wait to hit puberty.
And so everybody crowds back into the car. Nobody wanting to sit in the back with the siblings, but one of you eventually does.
So, with all the stuffed animals, I imagine we get Petunia
Oh,
all
yes.
the stuffed animals. So it's
Pile
just, like,
of stuffed
packed.
animals.
Yeah.
Couple other water guns.
Kind of like E.T., and it's just her face,
Yeah.
but her eyes are just as soulless as all the stuff else.
Absolutely. And after an exhausting day that you didn't quite expect at this theme park, you guys sigh and pull out of the parking lot and head on to your next destination.
Is there another orphanage on the way?
Yes,
Oh,
we're
no.
going to be dropping you off.
No.
Amelia, smell my armpit. I got a bath earlier.
Thank you guys so much for playing. It was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for listening. I had a blast. I don't know about y'all, but it was fun.
Petunia,
Mr.
we'll see you
Guga.
later.
Mr. Gugarf.
That gargoyle. Mr. Gargoyle.
All right. Well,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you all.
see you
Yeah, thank
next
you.
week for our mouse guard one shot.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Monday for mapping, Wednesday for mouse guard.
Oscar.
Fuck yeah. It'll be fun.
Thank you.
All right.
All
See you
right.
guys next
Thanks,
time.
See y'all.